What is going on, everyone? This is Cedric. Welcome back to the channel. And today we're gonna talk about why savings accounts suck. I mean, I have 6 of them, but they still suck. And we're gonna talk about why. Now, I recently came across a clip from Jon Stewart with one of his newer shows that he's doing with Apple TV called The Problem with Jon Stewart. And in this particular clip, he was with a lot of his staff members. I think they're like writers for his show. And the title of that video was Why Savings Accounts Suck. And what was interesting about this is the year 2022, right? And so I think most of his writers are probably in their 20s, maybe 30s, but they all look very young. It's funny because one of the staff members asked Jon, hey, what was it like to actually get 4 or 5% interest on your savings account? And it's so funny because it hit me. I actually remember what it's like to get 4 or 5% on a savings account. Now, this is significant for several reasons. One, I realized, oh my gosh, I'm like significantly older than a lot of his staff members and writers because they don't even remember a time where savings accounts paid that much. But 2, it also reminded me of how long we've been in this super low interest rate environment. When I first opened my bank account, which is still the same bank account, or actually it's a credit union that I have today, my first savings account, my first checking account was opened when I was in high school, which was like early 2000s. Actually, I might have opened it around 1999, 2000. Now, mind you, I was with a credit union, which typically paid a little bit higher interest rates on their accounts. But I remember a time where it was actually a good idea to park your money in a safe and secured savings account to be able to make a decent annual percentage yield on your money. Now, this whole idea about savings accounts in 2022 is far different than when I first opened up my savings account. The thing is, we're still encouraged to save money, which is a very good habit, but the problem is we're actually not getting any positive reinforcement for that good habit. In fact, we're actually punished for this good habit of saving, and we'll talk more about that in a second. This whole idea of saving money in a bank gives you this illusion of control, that you're in control of your money, that you have it parked in a safe and secure location, which in many ways is true, but it gives you this idea of progress and I'm actually building my wealth. But on the contrary, the problem lies in the fact that these banks, they take the money that you put with them and that you hold with them, and they actually lend that money out, making far more money than what they're giving you in investment. So they're essentially using your money basically for free to be able to make more money. Now, there's a whole system behind that, which we will not talk about in this video, but just know that the banks are making money on your money in your savings accounts while paying you 0.01% interest. So though it might be nice to open up your app and log into your bank account and see $20,000 sitting in your savings account, just know that this is coming at a cost to you. So let's talk about some of the reasons why savings accounts suck. One of the main problems of having a savings account in 2022 is for a lot of people, it actually costs you money to save money. The way that it costs you money is some of these bank accounts, they actually charge a fee for you to actually hold money in there or to use their savings account services. Now, some banks might charge you a maintenance fee. It might just be a couple of dollars a month to be able to hold $500 or $1,000 in there. But this maintenance fee, which I'm not sure what they're maintaining with that fee, is eating into the actual value of the money that you're putting in there. So let's just say, for example, you hold $1,000 in your savings account, but you have a maintenance fee of $5 because you don't meet the threshold to have your fees waived by holding more money in there. Then that's $5 being deducted from your account every single month. So it's costing you money to save money. Now, there might be other fees associated with having a savings account, like overdraft fees in case you pull out more or use more than what's actually in there. They might charge you a fee for that. Or let's just say you exceed 6 withdrawals in your statement period, then you might get charged a fee from the bank for that. The next reason why savings accounts suck is because of the laughable interest rate that you're getting on the money that you hold in there. Look at your savings account statement. Do you know how much interest or annual percentage yield you're getting on your money for holding your money in there? I guarantee you it's nowhere near even 1%. Now, this is a problem because of this next reason, inflation. Now, inflation in its simplest terms is the rise in prices in the economy, which in turn results in a decrease in purchasing power in any given currency. So let's just say, for example, that inflation is on average 2% a year, give or take. That means the money that you're making in your savings account isn't even enough to compete with inflation. So every year, the longer you keep your money in your savings account, you're literally losing money. As things get more expensive, you're not able to buy as much. So the purchasing power of the money that you have in your savings account is getting smaller and smaller. So I think it's safe to say that using a savings account is not an ideal way to grow wealth. In fact, it's a horrible way to grow wealth. So you might ask, Said, if savings accounts are so bad, why even bother? Well, I do want to say that those savings accounts in 2022 sucks. They're not completely bad. I mean, there are some positive aspects to it. So this is essentially, in my opinion, how to save money the right way. One of the most important parts of anyone's financial plan is the emergency fund. Now, this serves as your own personal insurance, as you will, and it's really just money set aside that you have access to in case there's an emergency, or maybe you lose your job for a period of time. You have that to rely on to be able to cover your expenses. Now, an emergency fund can be anywhere from $1,000 to 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. So I think a savings account is one of the best places to park your emergency fund because you're not looking to grow your money and you're wanting to make sure that you have quick access to it in case something comes up. Another great way to use savings accounts is to park your short-term savings in there. Now, what I mean by this is you use your savings account to save up for things that you need maybe in the next year or two, or even in a shorter period of time. For example, if you decide that you want to save up for a down payment on a home, a savings account is a great place to do that because you know that you need a place to be able to save your money over time, but you also know that you'll be able to use that money once you hit that financial goal. Now, I personally have 6 different savings accounts that I use for different purposes, and most of them are just for short-term savings. And some of the accounts at any given moment, I may not have anything in there, but they're there for me to be able to separate and organize my different items that I'm saving for, or different reasons for me saving. For me, it makes sense because at my financial institution, I can open up as many savings accounts as I need. At least I don't think there's a limit, and I don't have to pay any fees to have those accounts open. But I think it's a good way to be able to organize what you're saving for, so that way you don't have just one savings account. You certainly can use one savings account, but if you're able to use more than one to be able to separate and organize, and it doesn't cost you anything extra, I'd say why not? Now, outside of these reasons that I just mentioned, I don't think there are too many other practical reasons to use savings accounts. Now, some people like the idea of being able to park $50,000 or $100,000 or even more in their savings account. And for that, I ask, what is the purpose of doing that? If you're wanting to protect your wealth and you're scared to invest your money, then that's one thing. But I would say that that's more counterproductive, and it doesn't really protect your money because, again, at the end of the day, the longer you keep a large sum of money in your savings account, you're gonna lose money to inflation versus taking a portion of that or all of that, if you don't need it, to invest in the stock market and to at least get a decent return on your investment. If you don't plan on using your large sum of money in the next 5 years, then you're much better off to put that in the stock market, throw it into an index fund or something that is a little bit more proven historically, and actually get some gains on your money that is impossible to get with a savings account. Just do me one big favor though. Do not use your savings account as a means to grow wealth. Have an investment strategy that you're gonna use to grow wealth and to actually get a return on your money. All right, everyone, I hope that you found this video helpful and that it inspired you to save money the right way. If you got any value out of this video, do me a big favor, hit that like button down below. It definitely helps out the channel a lot. Now listen, if you wanna get a little bit deeper on how inflation impacts your personal finances, then make sure you watch this video right here because I go a little bit deeper around the concept of inflation, but more importantly, how to beat it so it doesn't steal your wealth. So make sure you watch this video right at the end of this video, and also click right here to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.